We decided to begin with this really, really general conversation about what is friendships to us.
This is the first episode. Hopefully, if we will
so
find
it's super
a
chaotic.
sponsor, if we will find a sponsor, hello.
Please.
For me, the shift happened in my social interactions. So that's why we decided that for our podcast, for our dealing with changes, we love changes, I would say, but still it is a process.
Yeah, as you said, we work in this creative industry. We're doing marketing, product, working with startups, where it's kind of a mantra that you have to embrace all the change. Change is good. But all of a sudden, whether you apply that to your personal life and to yourself, or when it is applied, non-willingly, you're like, uh-oh, that's not what I really wanted.
Yeah. If someone is into astrology, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh my God, that's the worst ever, right?
You meant the best. How is podwórko in English? Do you have podwórko in Russian?
Podwórko, what? The yard?
The yard, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You're very good in Polish, getting better and better every time we speak. Who we meet is actually random. Yes, you don't have a choice. But
Right.
how we interact is not.
Always.
Important information. My husband doesn't like friends.
Why did you marry the guy again?
Shift happens.
Shift happens.
Happens. Shift happens.
Hi there, this is Shift Happens. I'm Irina. Like there we have to begin with I'm Irina. People say my name in whichever way they want. So, this is a free zone. You can say whatever you want, but actually it's Irina. Hey, everyone.
So mine is easier. I'm Maria, but the bad is on the accent. So usually people say Maria. I'm Maria.
Okay, and you're like,
not Maria. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, more flat.
Okay,
Maria.
so that's a good start for the podcast. 2 hosts with unpronounceable names. Congratulations.
I think it could have been worse, so it's easy, guys. So you can listen to us because you can actually pronounce our names. So that's an advantage.
That's reason number 1 for listening to this podcast. Anyways, this podcast is called Shift Happens because, well, let's be honest, shift happened in our lives. We've been friends for some years, and then all of a sudden, our lives changed so much that we felt
but
the
totally
same.
in different directions. Like your life changed differently than my life changed.
Yeah, and again, it's not
Sounds
good or bad.
interesting.
It's just a big change. So in my case, a lot of shit happened. Shit, not shift. And then I changed countries. So basically, starting from scratch when you are a grown-up and you think that you figured this shit out, and then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, let's do it again. So that's me. In your case, you changed your work landscape?
Yeah. I sold my company, so it was my decision. I wanted that changed. I was embracing that change. I said, yeah, let's do something new.
So the change.
And then I've noticed that when you sell the company you built and you start being unemployed, that's what happened.
A result, okay.
Yeah, as a result, I should say I'm an entrepreneur. I shouldn't say I'm unemployed, but that's what happened.
That's how the world works.
Yes, if you don't work, you're
Don't say unemployed.
Yeah,
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. No. Let's stick to the fact. Every guy here, or every girl here who is saying, I'm entrepreneur, you are not. You just don't have
Really?
a job right now. You don't have a project. Deal with that. But so what changed in my life is actually social connections. Like I lost a lot of them. Like I can reach to that people, but their lives went the other way and my life went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about that, like your lack of social connections.
Or like my need to build new ones from scratch
Yeah.
because my old ones were just physically elsewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they are still in the same country, but I'm not joining the same calls, the same meetings, and in 1 week I was just talking to my husband, and I don't know, it came to me that he's the only adult person, the only person I'm talking to on a frequent basis. Yeah, and so for me the shift happened in my social interactions. So that's why we decided that for our podcast, for our dealing with changes, we love changes, I would say, but still it is a process.
Yeah, as you said, we work in this creative industry. We're doing marketing, product, working with startups, where it's kind of a mantra that you have to embrace all the change. Change is good. But all of a sudden, when you apply that to your personal life and to yourself, or when it is applied, non-willingly, you're like, uh-oh, that's not what I really wanted.
Yeah. It's easy to actually, make some roots in a situation you are and feel that everything is granted and say, okay, like I have so many things to do. I think in my case, a lot of that was that I was needed, like someone needed something from me almost every day, every week. And one of the reasons I left my company, I sold it, is like to not be needed, like to start something new, to start something from scratch. But in the same time, I got used to being needed. I got used to having the social interactions with people. I got used to their stories, the things they were sharing during small talks and stuff like that. I actually missed a bunch of them. And I know I can reach to them, but I also understand that I made that decision that I'm starting something new. And this new situation is lonely.
Yeah. It's cool that you say that you felt needed, because I don't know, like too many ways to describe what is friendship. That could be one of those. But I spent some time thinking, okay, what's the answer to the question, what is friendship? And I'm not really sure it's about the need. I don't know.
I also cannot say that the people I was working with, they were my friends or I was them friends. I was the boss, the employee, employer. So obviously that's not a friendship, but I was even thinking about the social connections. There are some research, and we will be talking about some research because we got so interested in the topic that we actually started doing it in a scientific
actually started
way.
reading.
Scientific way. We started reading for the first time. So how long you live is actually impacted by how many social connections you have.
Meaningful connections, right?
Meaningful, but also like the random one. So even saying hello at your, bookstore or bakery or something like that can make a difference in how long you live. We are social animals and we need connections. So obviously I have still the circle of my friends didn't change. They are still there, but they have a job. And they, their lives. And I took a break. I'm starting working, like only recently I started working. I took a break and I was, biking a lot, traveling a lot, but I was on my own and with my husband, obviously. Sorry, Maciejko.
It's going to be the third hero in this podcast, your husband.
You are a valued member of
loved,
our
cherished
community, yes.
Speaking about the circle of your friends, though.
Yeah.
I infiltrated that one, how many years ago? 6 or something, right? So I just want to quickly tap into the stories of actually how we met, because that's how we got here, actually. Yeah. So in my memories, we met in Poland the first time Winter time. Sad times. I mean, winter in Poland. Can you imagine, like, the darkness of that? So it was a professional event, and we keep on doing that thing. So we're mentoring the startups, and we're, this smart, fancy girls. But but what we have so far, and what we have had over the years, it has grown from professional to something different. And I don't know, I just remember some cool flashbacks, like recognizing that you are very cool because you had your own agency. That's the first thing I was like, whoa, that's impressive. Wow, she's so smart. Then I remember you dancing in a bar in Serbia. And I was like, whoa, she's also the vibe. Yeah. And then I remember, like, when this friendship became really tangible is when I came over to your place. And I think at that point I really felt quite tired and quite lonely, maybe, you know. And that was, how many years ago? That was 2019, so
It was
4 years
before
ago.
you moved the country. Yes,
Yeah,
it was
before. I was doing
yeah.
fine, you know. I was living my life, I was doing my work. Nothing was changing in a major way. So I just dropped by quickly to your city for, 3 days? You know, it was a quick weekend escape. And we had so much fun, and there was so much in common. And there I met your husband, and you did the ugly pancakes, and there were so many things we had to laugh at in common.
I was the worst guide ever. So
Yes,
but-
also you
but-
were the worst guide ever. Not a single thing you knew about your own city. Zero.
But just to maybe explain myself, I was also new to that city. I was new to that city, so I moved from one city to another in my country. So it's Warsaw, so my city is Warsaw. Big reveal. But obviously I should know a little bit more about the capital of my country.
Like, please.
Than I did. And Ira was asking really good questions.
Like, what is this?
Yeah. But the great thing about going with us is if anyone from whoever is listening want to join us in Warsaw for any guided tour, we can always make something up. So we will always get your answer.
That was quite
every
creative.
every question is answered, even if it's not 100% true. We are like ChatGPT of guides.
But like the database that you are using is questionable. But like you are like the ChatGPT. That's so true. So that was 2019, and then last year when some major sad things happened in my life. Honestly, you were the first one to call me and to tell me, okay, gather up, get your shit together, we need a plan. And I mean, you know, and although geographically for all these years we've been in different places and we meet, you know, halfway through Europe sometimes
we
randomly.
can actually count on one hand
the number of times we met.
We saw each other,
right?
like, that's true.
It's insane. It's insane. But still, like, your
so this
presence
is like
in my life is totally...
Internet friendship, you know, like really 90s vibe,
I
would say. I haven't
and
thought about this before, but we are.
It's amazing because we are more digital than we are physical and you know, analog, and still your presence in my life is amazing. You are the wise one, you know, like the sisterly things when shit is happening in my life. I'm like, okay, I'll have to call Maria because she will have the explanation and she will talk me through this, and you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so that's like amazing. Hard to explain, but the more we talk, the more sort of real friends we become.
I think
right?
for me also, obviously, for me, I think important part was also pandemic. During the pandemic, we also had a lot of calls, like long, deep calls about like how shit the situation is, but also with a lot of Eastern humor, I would say.
Context.
So that was also a good thing. So for me, pandemic was also like really building into this relationship, like, you know.
Cool.
Being
Also, I mean,
to...
it's important to mention that we decided to call ourselves at some point the resting beach faces from Eastern Europe or something.
Yeah, but I borrowed this, so we need to give credits to my friend Beata. She lives in New York, and she told me about the concept of her image there. And I loved it. I loved
Europe.
it. And so I stole it. So hopefully Beata is listening to us and be kind. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that's us. That's us being friends, and that's us thinking about friendships and what is that and how we make those longer and more meaningful.
And how we make new friends also. Because like when you mentioned it's 6 years, I was shocked actually. I really was shocked. Like I thought it's 3 maybe or something. So time flies. Like
time flies indeed.
Like I was thinking it was shorter period of time but very intense, but it's actually 6 years. But still, you know, we both have a lot of friends from university times, you know, from other moments in our life. and it just happened. It just happened. But now, when we are in new situations, so whenever some friendships are, I don't know, like closing for any reasons,
Yeah.
and you have a space for new, like how you actually approach that when you are older, and I'm older.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
like-
Before we
Hmm?
start talking about what is friendship, because we decided to begin with this really, really general conversation about what is
this
friendship
is the first
to us.
episode. Hopefully, if we will
So
find
it's super
a
chaotic.
sponsor, if we will find a sponsor, hello,
Please.
then we will record some more. So that's why today we are talking very general constructs, but we will go deeper.
Yeah, and we
Really
understood
deep.
that we might need some props. You know, we can't just keep going and going and going because they will take us forever. So we wanted to structure this dialogue.
This thing, yeah.
Yeah, and you see the structure is working. First of all, what is this? Who we are, how we became friends ourselves. So we gave each other a little help. We have been waiting for the post officers to work really well for quite some weeks, right?
So this podcast is not about friendship; it's about postal service among Europe.
That never works
That never
apparently.
works.
So
There will
we
be a
sent each
ranking,
other.
There will be a ranking.
Yeah, but so far 0 out of 10. So we sent each other a box of things that would help explain us what is friendship, and yeah, little gifts, little presents, but something physical, something tangible. Can you believe that came over here from Poland?
Yeah, and
Insane.
Irina mentioned that there will be explanation of a golden duck from our logo inside of my box. So I'm really curious. We haven't opened
Maybe.
it, so like this will be.
I just
this
want
will
to
be-
showcase how I received this. It says, "Do not open the box." And when I was just about to open the box anyways, Maria put another one over here that says, "No." So I didn't.
I
Okay.
think that's the sign that we are friends. So I knew I had to.
Exactly. Okay, who goes first?
I.
Okay, you have to respect the elderly. Go.
Oh. And there will be some SMR, happening, like when I will be opening.
You're like, yeah. In your face.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
It's
dun.
quite
What? Heavy? Awesome.
heavy. All right. Ooh. Okay.
What comes first, tell me?
Oh, there's something.
Okay, show us. What is that?
So this is.
Whee! Okay, this is a 35mm film camera, and it's really special because I bought this for myself in 2021 in Athens. That was a very happy holiday that I had, probably one of the those few moments that you kind of remember. And afterwards, because I'm into this, film photography, and I think that film photography makes you care and cherish about the moments you are actually taking pictures of more, rather than 50 pictures on your iPhone. You really think about, like, I want to save this on a film. And I gave this to all of my friends, and right now we're all into this film photography, and we have this disposable cameras, and we take those to any trips that we are doing, and then we're exchanging the pictures, and all of our Instagrams are fancy film photos
I love it.
of our cool memories together.
It's like
Now
a
you are in the
trip
circle.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's like a trip to childhood. Like I remember with my parents, we made a lot of photos, and obviously, they were always cringy. I would say. I don't know, but I love that, and I also have this. I do a lot of photos with my phone.
Yeah.
But then, and I love the features which you have an app when you can actually, see some memory from the past. I love it. I use it a lot. I go deeply into these old photos.
Yeah.
But I think this is more like, as you mentioned, you need to make a decision. Like you need to choose wisely. This is the moment you want to capture?
Is this what I want?
I love it. I love it. And there is a film. Is it like there are some pictures on them, or this is to use?
No, this is for you to go out there and start creating valuable memories.
Thank you. It's like it's like a birthday gift.
Uh-huh. It's a
Thank you.
podcast gift. Ding, ding, ding,
Thank
ding.
you. I think we were thinking the same stuff because, like, you need to open yours now. You need to open yours. Let's do exchanges because I see what I'm having next here, and you will find something from the same.
Oh my god, okay, I can see that one. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now you have to show yours because what you
Yeah.
have there is a turkey head. Okay,
Yeah.
just a massive thank you to the creators of this series because it dragged me over the darkest times. During the pandemic, I binge watched all the 10 seasons of that. When I'm with my
Okay, so-
friends, we're just, laying down on a grass, on the sofa, anywhere, and we just watch our favorite episodes from Friends. So Friends are watching Friends. Always.
Important information. My husband doesn't like Friends.
Why did you marry the guy again?
I didn't know that before. It was so obvious. I
should
didn't
have said.
ask.
He should have
Yeah,
said.
he should have said. I think if I would like to, cancel the marriage thing, and I would know, like, incur that
They
we
will
didn't
tell
know.
you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
but
okay. That's okay.
there were actually worse things. He also told me that he doesn't like Sting afterwards, and I'm huge fan of Sting, to be very honest. So you never. That's actually, we can talk about the friendship thing. Do you think you could be friends, or maybe you already are friends, with someone who has really, really opposite views on life than you? Especially, political one.
Oh, political one, no. That's for sure. You kind of don't have a gray zone. You can't say, you know what, I'm apolitical, so I don't have a view. So you're either, white or black. You're either this or that. It's harder and harder to keep friendships with people who think otherwise, who are on the other side of the common sense, sadly. But the other thing would be, for example, with relatives. So, if you are in this because you are bounded by blood, if that's even a concept, you kind of try to accept what people are thinking, and you just kind of try to not
Shouldn't
to talk
you
about
do
it.
the same for friendship? Like, for me, friendships are as important as family. So for me, like,
That's a good point.
sometimes even more, because I think I chose them. And if I chose them, like, I'm more bounded. Like, it's not accidental. It's I made that decision.
But culturally, you think, or you want to think, that you and your friends kind of come from the same cultural background, educational background. So you kind of predict that although there might be deviations in the way you're thinking about different things, you might like different types of music, you might like different types of things in your life. But generally...
Music is not like an issue, I would say.
Exactly, and this is an
Unless
issue.
someone doesn't like Sting, but other than that, then
I
it's
mean,
not
but
an issue.
then all of a sudden you would marry the guy. Why? Yeah, and in this case, I'm probably blessed because my friends, I can't even remember about a single person who would support the madness. And that's really important because that indicates that my circle of friends is really working
as you
for me.
mentioned, I think in your case it's super black and white. Like,
It's Russia, by the way, so
yeah.
we have to be like mindful of it because right now
If
they're
you
like,
are
where's
guessing-
she's from,
yeah.
really? Yeah,
Korea,
yeah.
maybe North Korea. No.
Obviously. Like, hi.
You never know. Different
Yeah,
things happening.
yeah,
but
yeah.
So I'm thinking, I was thinking similar, that from political views it would be hard. In Poland, obviously, we also have this big separation, like, part of the country is, voting for one option and part of the country for all the rest. But I thought that I think we still haven't crossed, we are not in war, like there is no internal war happening in Poland, just, but there is a conflict, there is like, conflict you can feel, like,
Yeah.
and we will have our election soon. So as we will be publishing this, it might be somewhere
We will too.
around. Yeah.
Fun stuff. I mean, the joke is on us.
Let's keep it in that mood. Yeah, but I was thinking, my existing friends usually, maybe they don't have very like exact political views, but they are not voting for the other, the wrong party, let's say. But then I thought maybe I'm limiting myself, like even, from the like sociological, is that the word, sociological? So blah blah
Let's
blah.
make it a word.
Blah, blah, blah.
Sociological?
Yeah. I'm
What was that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I'm C2 English, speaker. Sorry for that. So I thought that it's actually a barrier I'm creating also to meet other people and to understand other people. Like, I'm not, I wanted to say Mother Teresa, but she was a bad person. So, but I'm not an angel to be, trying to connect with everyone on the planet and be friends with everybody. Like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to do that. But
so you just build the boundaries of acceptable, right? And it's more or less what works for you.
But what I'm doing now is saying, let's maybe open a little
try.
bit more. Let's try, because maybe there is a lot of, quality there on the other side, and I'm missing something, and maybe I can understand, and maybe if I can understand and more people can understand, then on the bigger level we can actually shift what's happening in Poland and find some common ground, some bound as a country, as a society, like something like that. But obviously there is a lot of things that will be a red flag for me. I think the human rights, women rights, like that's something that would be non-negotiable for me, I think.
I hope that there's another way, because when it's polarized, it's fucked up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm looking into my box, and I can't help but notice a deck of cards, but apparently I'm not a good enough friend to receive the whole deck. I just got this. Can I get some explanations?
Okay, so there is an explanation, and there is a practical reason. So practical reason is I found it in my home, and I didn't have all of the cards. I don't know what happened to them.
So you were like, okay, what can I pack into this box?
No, I thought about the randomness. So the cards for me are a bit about randomness. But on the other hand, when you play poker, it's not a play of randomness. Yes, you can have actually a strategy in that. So this double sense, like usually cards are, connected with gambling and randomness and entertainment. But so I was thinking that who we meet is actually random. Yes, you don't have a choice, but how we interact is not. And from that random pool of people you will ever meet, there is, like the limited number. It's huge right now as we live in times when we travel abroad, when we go to events, concerts. So you were in touch, or no, not maybe in touch, but you were, connecting on some level with thousands of people in your life up till now. But you choose some of them. They
smells nice.
There is
Do
the
they
reason.
stink?
Sorry, there is the reason that they might smell nice, because there is something smelling inside. Yeah, and I think it's so that is for me like that with friendship you can be vulnerable and you can actually cry. You can open yourself.
Okay.
And you can do this kind of stuff. You don't have to be, this persona. You don't have to show this image of being super confident and.
Yeah, it's not your Instagram. Like you can be yourself, right?
Yeah. So that was the reason for that.
Okay.
What else do you have? Or should I open my?
No. Yours will be the last one.
All right. Oh, so this is important actually, because
Big people.
As the previous one is about, like you can cry in front of your friends and share all your sorrows and stuff like that. I don't think that you are friends with someone if you are only doing that. So for me, to be friends with someone, you need to have some joys. And I have people I know. Serious people I know. So I know some people who are very
not me,
serious.
obviously. Not serious.
No, but like you also have people who you could reach in time of any problems, any issues. Thank you, Ira.
Not helpful.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that friends. If it's the reason, because there are a lot of good people who'd help you when you are in troubles. Just like you could call, I think, people from our mentoring community. They are really great people, and I believe if I would have some issue, like I don't know, either in my work, even personal, I could reach to them, and I think like they would open for me to help me. But it's not friendship if you are not also doing the fun stuff or the boring stuff. I think you can only be friends with people when you can accept a boredom, and that's from my. That's actually that's something I learned during my therapy. So thank you to my therapist, because I think that was super wise thing, and it really gave me a lot of thinking. If I'm doing that a lot, like being in a boring state with my friends, and if I'm only meeting someone for entertainment, or looking for something that for the times to be great, that it needs to be great, it needs to be then I think it's not a friendship in the end. It might be a really nice like relationship, also important one.
But like a fling, it kind of applies to the relationships as well, right? Because we talked about this. It's a proper relationship when you accept the boring part of that as well, and you enjoy that. Yeah. You don't just accept; you start enjoying that, right?
Yeah.
My question to you, though, and that was one of the questions that first of all, I did some notes, and I have some questions for you here. So one of the questions was friends versus acquaintances. What's the difference to you?
So that will be one, like obviously.
Yeah.
Because I think with acquaintances, there was always a little bit of transaction. Like transaction might be, we are both liking doing something, some sport. So we meet for sport, for example. So there is, like very, like you are focusing on something with that person, but you are not opening your life for that person. And I think you don't have any sorrow when that person is leaving you. That also would be a sign for me of acquaintance.
Okay.
That sound I just made was this. I can do a ASMR again. Sorry. But
amazing.
It's not enough. Yes, I need to, because I love all those videos when people are eating out loud, and oh my god, it's so sexy. I love it. Like when
and all the other weird things that we are sharing here on this podcast.
it's mukbang is life, really.
Oh yes, mukbang would be the name. Okay, the next episode we're gonna be just eating here in front of the microphones.
So I think boredom, and do you feel sorrow when it's ending? Or if like imagine that if that relationship would go away, would it be something sad
the acquaintances
for you?
Or a friend?
For friend obviously, like
the acquaintances not obviously.
and with the acquaintances, like they come and go, and it's nice to have them, and I think I value time I spend with those people, and hopefully they value time we spend together. But I think it's this randomness. It's just we are borrowing each other time for a little bit. We are filling that time we have with some memories, and that's it. And from acquaintances, you can move to friendship if you decide to invest. So I think with acquaintances, you don't invest. That's also the third. I'm sharing a lot of wisdom today. A lot of wisdom, guys.
Making notes. That's very true, and I think I'm lucky enough because as a grown-up, as an adult person, I can't really say that
when you will grow up, yes, that's what you meant.
When I will finally grow up, I might have some wisdom too.
I'm joking.
So as a grown-up, I've never experienced like properly losing a friend and realizing that yes, this friendship has obviously ended, and here are the reasons. Can I do something about that? So I lost some friends. When you're at school, my school mates, my class, we had 30 people, and we were bonded like that together. And I really thought, but I mean, at school, how old are you? 14, 15, 16. Yeah, those are like the happy
So
times
high
of your
school
life.
times. So high school
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, in my case, it was like basically the same set of people for 10 years. So we studied all together before the university. You just, I mean, if unless you changed schools, which I didn't, so we kind of stayed together.
You were raised in Moscow, like that was your.
I was raised in Moscow, born in Moscow.
Okay.
I went to school in Moscow. I went to the same school for 10 years, and then I went to the Moscow State University. So I'm really, really, Moscow focused in terms of my CV. I look at that now. I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah, and I had my bestest friend at school, and I was pretty sure that my school connections would then grow. Because, for example, I don't know, I was looking at my mum and her best friend, who is my godmother. They were together since, I don't know, they were 5 or 6 years old, since their early school times, and since they were kids.
That's amazing.
And they're still in each other's lives, and still, my godmother sends me messages like, "How are you, daughter? What's up?" Yeah. So, and anyways, that's kind of a cool type of friendship. And I was sure that I would have the same thing. I don't have any single person in my life from that school period. Not a single one. We are following each other in some cases on Instagram, but that's just Instagram window shopping, really, just making sure that our lives are somewhere there, and it's not important, really. I mean, it doesn't play a big role right now, but things changed with the university times, because university gave me my best friends, and we're still together, and it's been, mamma mia, 15 years now. So that was that. Doesn't mean that those friendships that I felt were really strong, and we traveled together, and we went through some major stuff. First breakups, first loves, first everything. And I would think that those are, the major connectors in your life. But not really. It just dissolved over time. And does that mean that it was a mistake? No. Does that mean that we just went in separate directions? Yes. And it kind of turned out that we became completely different people. I don't even go to my school reunions anymore, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a part of the tribe.
Yeah, but I think I totally agree with the, like that you don't have anything to regret. It just happens. But I think with this period of time, it's easier to have that mindset. Like
Yes.
Yes, it's when you are in high school, you don't see it that way. But afterwards, like, the fact that you lost that connection it's not something surprising.
Yeah,
It's pretty much normal. I have friends from high school times, 2 of them. We don't see each other very often, but we are in touch, and I really value those friendships. But my I don't know, view on the high school times and primary school, I hated it. So I'm totally different than you. In that, like, primary school was hell for me, really hell. And I was waiting for high school to start. High school was much better, but still, I was living in a very small city. I was living with a city with 5,000 people living in. 5,000. I don't know how many people is Moscow.
No idea.
Few millions.
Many.
I would say, yeah, many, yeah.
Very
so,
many.
like I was, counting days. So from the 3rd class, we had 4 class in high school. I was, like, counting days. I was, like, to move from that city to another place. And a lot of people in my high school class, they didn't have the same mindset. They were, like, really loving, like, the community they built, which I totally respect. But, like, this fact itself was, huge difference between us. Yeah, so I think that the university time, or the first time I was really my own person, like, independent and stuff like that. So those decisions were, like, 100% my own. Obviously with friends from high school, they were my own as well, but the setting was different. So the setting was different. I feel some sadness sometimes towards those friends I have from high school and from maybe not primary school, but more from. I have a friend that we met through. How is podwórko in English? Do you have podwórko in Russian?
Podwórko, what? The yard?
The yard, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You're very good in Polish, getting better and better every time we speak. So from the yard, we were living in the same building, spending a lot of time. So I know her since we are 5 or something like that. So I sometimes feel sadness that we are not closer right now.
Okay.
Like we call each other, I don't know, twice a year, but it's not the same. So sometimes I feel that sadness, but it's so natural. I think everyone understands what's happened, like life happened, etc. But
Yeah.
I think in an adult life, if you lose someone, then it's different, because I think usually it means like you stopped investing,
Right.
and it's different.
You know what's surprising in my case, though? Our parents stayed friends. So my mom is now great friends with the parents of people I haven't seen for 25 years of my life already, I think.
Okay.
And I know, and I mean, I adore the parents of the people I'm not friends with anymore. And I mean, we were not, obviously, right? And I know what's happening with them, and they exchange calls. And I think that's fascinating because, when I was at school, my parents were, my age now, a bit older,
Yeah.
right? So again, another check that when you are an adult and you meet cool people, even if they're parents of kids at school, these connections stay.
That's actually, I think, because we were also talking about how you met friends, and I think that's also important piece of information, as we are very scientific oriented. We did research.
So far so good.
Yeah,
I'm
we
entering
did
the research and like,
research.
what? Mm-hmm, okay.
So we actually interviewed a bunch of people. Maybe the representation wasn't the best because were only our friends. But
so we interviewed some nice people.
yeah, we interviewed some nice people. But statistically speaking, maybe we need to upgrade it a little bit later on. But how people meet friends, and people with kids meet other like kids, parents, and this is like the case of your
The context
of
is the
your
key.
parent. Yeah, but for example, I don't have kids and I'm not planning to have them, so for me that option is like closed. And also like I see like with people who have children, it's not that it's like I don't have any issues with that, because usually I like kids of my friends, like they are nice people, they raise nice
smaller people.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
which is great. But it is a difference. Like it is, like you need to adjust, understand like the context they are living in, and different speed and different volume they can offer, and sometimes it is hard. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. But I understand and I can see that this is something that can be very bonding, as well as Warsaw can be bonding. So this is what I'm saying.
It can be bonding.
Yeah, so I also see you've mentioned how we met and you explained the whole story. So for me, Warsaw was also a bonding experience, and I also have a lot of flashbacks of us sitting at the riverside till 3 or 4 a.m. talking.
Actually, there was a sunrise involved, right?
Yeah, something quite late or quite early. Lovely night, lovely date.
And now you have
one
to
of
open the
best.
last piece of things.
All right. Oh, that is how sweet. Okay, so I need to show you this.
Okay.
So there are pictures of us.
Actually, those are it's a timeline, because you need to start from the left side to the right side, and that's all the course of events that happened in Warsaw on that day, because it kind of represents everything.
I was looking for our pictures, and stupid me, I didn't thought about Warsaw, so I sent you a picture from Florence. And
This is us in Florence.
Yeah, and I think Madrid.
And this is us in Madrid.
Yes, so this is we have a continuous timeline. This is us in Warsaw, and then we move to another. I need to go to London now to meet you there. Yeah, so it was lovely. So ugly pancakes. So I was creating breakfast, and I would
Wait,
say
first of all, we're at the bar. Then we are meeting the sunrise.
Yeah.
Then, in an absolute hangover state, you're trying to cook the pancakes.
That's true. And there is the golden duck.
Yeah.
And there is the golden duck.
The golden duck, it was a duck, and you didn't know a thing about the golden duck, but we saw that it was really ugly, and we decided that's gonna be like the symbol of our friendship. Golden, but ugly. Why? Okay, just golden. Mm-hmm.
Golden. Pancakes were ugly. But duck is also ugly? No, it's cute. So there is a very unsatisfying story about golden duck in Warsaw. So when you will go to Warsaw, just Google and find the statue of golden duck, and you think, maybe it's a princess, or maybe it's a, I don't know, hero of Warsaw.
No.
It's the biggest beach of Warsaw. So golden duck is the biggest beach of Warsaw, and and Google it up. So, but still, we like the golden duck memory we have together, because I think I invented some story on the spot
you're
when we
very,
were
very creative.
I think I invented something which was better than the original story of what golden duck means. Sorry for any people interested in history of Warsaw if I'm offending you right now, but
Jesus
this
Christ.
is what I think about we have the other legend which is nicer with the sirens, sirena. How is
Siren. Yeah, sirens. I guess.
Siren. Yeah. I should know this because there is like small siren movie from Disney.
What? Little Mermaid.
Mermaid. Oh, that's the word, mermaid. So
I'm so happy for our English listeners right now. You guys use the language wisely.
Remember, I'm native almost. I was taught business English. I do business. Not,
well, you can throw in some of that, like agile.
Yeah. But lovely. I love it. I really do love it. I
Good
didn't
times.
know you actually did a photo of me doing pancakes.
I
And why
absolutely
the
did.
pancakes are ugly. I started talking about this. I'm pretty good cook. I really
So
am.
she said.
I am a good cook, but I couldn't form a proper pancake.
It was such a suffering.
We will make a YouTube video about how to make a proper pancake.
Oh, this is going to be such a diverse podcast. Here, friendships, over there, pancake recipes, all
political
of it.
views.
Political views.
everything,
Eastern
yes.
Europe talking. Are there any things you will never ever forgive in a friendship?
I've learned from my life to never say never.
Okay. Okay, probably a less wiser answer from me, because still I figured there might be two things that I really, really wouldn't appreciate in a friendship. Well, first of all, I mean, that's a pompous word, but like betrayal in any form, right? When the person does something behind your back. And the second thing, which actually is probably more, I don't know, probably something I started thinking about recently, it would be indifference. Because if you, again, it's about maybe the investing thing, but if a person just doesn't care or doesn't spend some time checking in, or doesn't spend some time like nurturing your friendship, which is quite essential now, I think, especially in these times of this disconnection in terms of where we are, who we are, how are we doing. So that's quite important to me. And finally I realized, on the contrary, what I really value in friendship, and again, life experience. When shit happens, those are the people who stand by your side. So it's quite memorable and physical for me, because like even physically, when I was in a very, very bad place, they were by my side.
I get you here. I have some other views on that.
Okay.
Because if someone is into astrology, I'm a Scorpio.
Oh my God, that's the worst ever, right?
You meant the best. Yeah, so what some people say about Scorpios, that they are very loyal, but in the same time very strict. and not forgiving, I would say, for and I just said that never say never. But I think there are two things. So if someone would be indifferent towards me, I get what you mean by that. Like, I think it would be hard for me to stay for longer in that relationship.
Okay.
But I could have this process, this thinking, oh, maybe that person is in a hard spot. Maybe something's happening. Maybe he or she's not ready to talk about it. So I think I would wait a little bit. But if that wouldn't change, then obviously I would maybe do some adjustments, so not to feel that I am the only one investing. I think I need something, like the response, like there need to be communication both ways. But what I meant by never say never is I can imagine those friendships, like slowing down, going a little bit into different mode, and then coming back at some point. So this is what I can imagine, that you don't have to have constant, strong relationship. It can change. It can have, its ups and downs. And this is what I can accept. So it's hard for me to, I think, imagine. Oh, okay, I have a huge imagination. I can imagine some stuff. But like normal situation, if someone would just stop investing and the person would come back after some time, I might be open. You never know. It might be that that person wasn't a good person now, but that person might be amazing in your other period of time, and when you will be more aligned somehow in your lives, or have more similar experiences. So that's one thing. And with this, someone being when you have a hard time, like totally agree, it's super important. But as I mentioned, I don't want to have friends who only show up when the things are bad. Like my life usually is not total mess. You might not see it from what I'm showing you right now, but I like my life.
Yeah.
I have a good life, actually. I do enjoy it a lot. And I like to have people who will enjoy it together with me.
Sure.
Not, just show up when I will be super sick, I don't know, in my 90s, and then they will be my friends. Like, fuck you then. I need you now. I'm doing something fun. I'm doing something meaningful in my life. I'm doing a podcast with Ira, and I want to talk to all my friends, and I'm talking to all my friends about the podcast we are doing, because this is such a huge thing for me, like that we have this stuff. But it's not only for us. For me, it's something to share with others as well. And so this is what I'm looking for as well. So this is...
I find it quite bizarre, but the comparison will be like, like people when they're giving vows, there's this in good times and in bad times. And it kind of applies to friendships as well, right? Good times, I want to share this with my friends, and bad times, I mean, I need to share that with my friends. So that's the way it goes. And to me, it's kind of, I just know that they are there, regardless if we are, talking every week, or if we're texting, or if we're sending each other funny videos. And I think it's quite important to, I wouldn't say have common cultural background, because, backgrounds sort of, I wouldn't say come and go, but, they change, because you learn a lot, and, you're integrated into different, whatever, socio-cultural landscapes throughout your life, if you're traveling or if you're changing places. Yeah. But I feel like it's super important when you're talking the same sub-language of teeny tiny jokes, the videos, the friend language. So when you develop that, you are really sure that, okay, we got it. There's something special going on there. So I do have that with my friends for sure. And I think, I don't know, I think that is just really great to have someone in your life for, 15, 16 years.
I think that someone who answered my interview and was willing to share their wisdom told me that the friendship is total acceptance, and I liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot, and also like being there. And I totally agree, but in the same time I know that being there is different for different people. Mm-hmm. So you can have friendship with whom you have this friendship language, and you can have friends whom you see once a year. And you just jump, and it still works. So So I love the friends love talk. I love the like the fact that we have an ugly duck, and it's super special for me. Now obviously the whole world knows what it means, but it's very
Thanks to us. Okay.
thanks to us. But that's our thing. But in the same time, I know that with every other person you have in your life, it's something different that's glue you. Sometimes you can't even name it. It's
Yeah,
not
you
one
just
recipe.
kind of feel it.
It's not one recipe.
Of ugly pancakes. It's not one recipe. I also thought, answering the question of what is friendship to me, I came up with a self-invented word which apparently exists in the English language already. But sometimes I try to invent things and I'm like, oh, I'm speaking so well. Togetherness. And togetherness can, find so many meanings and shapes. And but if you are in this shit together, one way or the other, it might be, I don't know, a timely hug. It might be a timely fun message.
Shitness.
Shitness and togetherness. Thank you very much. We're still learning the language. It is what it is. And there are just a few people who I can say, I have this togetherness with. And I feel like if we are together, we can get through any shitty times. Anyways.
Yeah, so we solved it. I think we can finish and we don't have to record any other episodes.
Okay, bye. Okay, but I love that. Okay, first episode. It was chaotic. We had the boxers, we had everything, and we really had some wise moments there talking about friendships, didn't we?
Hopefully we'll also have a jingle. And I'm doing this on a record, Ira.
Fuck.
I want a jingle. But I cannot make one. Yeah, I can do this. But hopefully
You can do ASMR again. There you have it.
Wasn't that good. So hopefully when you will be listening to us, dear sponsors. So hopefully when you will be listening to us, first of all, you'll hit subscribe wherever you are. Like, please go and hit subscribe button or like button or whatever. And second of all, enjoy the jingle. Ta-da!
Shift happens.